Y'all want to see a dead body? Come here, let me show you. Now, I don't know when this debate took place, but a debate took place between Gary Chambers down in Louisiana and Byron Donalds. If you don't know Gary Chambers, baby, where you been? Y'all know MAGA nut Byron Donalds. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I didn't watch the debate. I came across these clips because I follow Gary Chambers and Gary Chambers follows me. Listen, if you know Gary Chambers, him following you is truly an honor. Hey, Gary. Anywho, this debate took place between Gary Chambers and Byron Donalds, and it took place over on Revolt TV. I don't know when it took place. Find Gary Chambers over here on TikTok, over on YouTube. He's got a link to the full debate. Y'all can watch it. When I tell you, Gary Chambers served Byron Donalds up on a silver platter. Here's clip number 1.
Something quickly on criminal justice reform. Since 2020, we only got about 6 minutes, guys. Over 1,000 black people have been killed by police. What reforms do you think, again, this is a big question, and I know we can't answer it all, but what reforms do you think can change the game to make sure that cops are held accountable? And my question is, Donald Trump has talked about ending qualified immunity on the federal level. Do you support that, and why?
Well, a couple things. One, I think there were competing bills in the United States Senate in I believe it was the summer of 2020. There were competing bills. There was the Tim Scott version of the legislation, and there was the and I forget I think it was the George Floyd policing bill. The Justice and Policing bill. That was the other one. The two bills were actually quite similar. The one major difference between the two pieces of legislation was qualified immunity.
That's a big difference.
In the Tim Scott's bill said you can't get rid of qualified immunity. I agree, you cannot get rid of qualified immunity. If you get rid of qualified immunity, I'm telling you today, you will have less police officers on the street. We have a ton of black officers who serve in our police departments, Hispanic police officers, white police officers. When you get rid of qualified immunity, what happens is that police officer is not just subject criminally, but also subject financially.
Right.
Hold on. So what officer is going to sign up when you deal with, at a minimum, any one officer has what?
Maybe a
10,000
maybe a non-racist,
maybe
a non-racist one.
Facts. Maybe a non-racist one.
Okay, and let him respond. We only got 5 minutes. I would love to come back, Congressman, and have this conversation. I actually am the senior advisor for the George Floyd family. I was there when they wrote that, so I definitely want to talk about that in full detail.
Let me say,
come on, Gary.
I was one of the lead organizers for activities that took place in Baton Rouge when Alton Sterling was killed by the police. I could tell you last year, in the last 2 years, over 1,000 black people were strip searched by the Baton Rouge Police Department unjustly. That a federal judge ruled that the strip search policy of the Baton Rouge Police Department this year ruled this, that it was unconstitutional. And that I could tell you the names of countless other black people who have been wronged by the police. If we end qualified immunity, we can hold them accountable. And what does that mean? That means that a cop who kills you is held accountable, not just by the insurance of the city, but by his personal stuff, that you can go after him personally when he kills you. You know what that's going to do? That's going to stop cops from killing people.
That's right.
Because if I can get your insurance, if I can get your house, if I can take your stuff when you kill us, you're going to think before you pull that trigger.
Facts.
And instead of protecting dirty cops, I'm not bad at good cops. I want a cop to go home to his family at night. I want you to go home to your family at night. But when you have a bad cop, when you have a bad apple, the end of the quote is they spoil the bunch. How do you get them out of the bunch? You ensure that the people who are harmed by them have all of the mechanisms and tools available to them to hold them accountable. And qualified immunity means that that cop is only held accountable by the city. Meaning, if I go out and shoot you, the city's liable for my decisions, not me. That means my wife, matter of fact, when a cop in Louisiana killed Ronald Green, when he thought that he was going to lose his job in his retirement, you know what he did? He took his car and ran it into a tree and killed himself so his wife could keep his insurance. Mm-hmm. So if I take away qualified immunity, I'd rather that bastard run into a tree than kill somebody else.
Woo. Okay, so
I don't know why Byron Donalds, him and J.D. Vance are a lot alike. They are some slicksters. If you aren't paying attention to what is coming out of their mouths, You would think that they would be talking about something real. Byron Donalds brings up two competing bills, the George Floyd and Policing Act and some other bill that Tim Scott had brought forth. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, because I don't claim to know everything. But neither bill got passed, right? He's bringing this forth as if one of the two bills got passed. I don't think either bill got passed. So why did he bring that up? Anyway, here's the knockout punch.
And talk to your cousins. There's a false narrative that my good brother and others try to carry out there that black men are going to the other side.
Yep.
80+% of black men have voted on the right side, protecting their humanity, protecting their pockets, and advancing their communities. Black people cannot put our humanity on the shelf for our pocketbook because they will kill you on the street like a dog, and then you're going to call somebody like me to help get you justice. So the question is, listen to the people who fight for you every day. The good congressman represents a district that's majority white, but he tries to tell black people what to do. Y'all have a good evening.
Ooh, well, that's been 10 on 10. Give a round of applause for Congressman Donalds
That was
and
lame.
Gary Chambers. I hope, well, hey, that was his closing thoughts. I hope that you guys make sure. Yeah.
What does
Is
that
the district majority white? I mean, that is he's asking, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So
That
what's the
matters. So he got white people to elect him and came to tell you what to do.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Okay.
guys.
That talking point doesn't mean a damn thing. We all know that.
That land of delusion that Byron Donalds and the other MAGA nuts live on is it's something. It's really scary. I don't ever want to gravitate towards those lands because that talking point means everything. It means to me that the white people elected you to keep us in line. It means the white people elected you to brainwash us so that they can continue to be the oppressors and oppress us. The white people elected you because they think that we listen to anybody that's black, which means they think we don't think for ourselves. Why are you, who was elected by a bunch, why aren't you representing them and their needs instead of coming over to the black community to tell us what we should be doing? Yeah, that talking point means everything, Byron Donalds.